Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a True Nerd, and welcome back to Rollercoaster Tycoon 2. Oh, I love this game, and apparently so do you, because this little mini-series has been going very, very well indeed. Welcome to John's Island Adventure, a beautiful, wonderful place. And today we're going to start off doing the sexiest, most exciting thing of all. And that's putting up the no entry signs I've been meaning to do for a little while. This is actually quite important. It just kind of keeps the flow of people working kind of as it should do. Because generally, like, you don't want people walking, like, down little paths to where there's nothing there. So if you kind of make the little exit paths literally only for exiting, then you'll probably be in much better shape as a result of that. So I'm just going to kind of put a few of those up and around. Like, around here, for example. This path here is never really going to do anything. No, that was backwards. Yeah, this path here is never really going to do anything, because this path here is basically just the exit for these two things. So really, when I continue around this side of the island, the path's going to, like, continue along the beach here. So as a result of that, like, I don't really want people going up here and then walking that way, because there's no point. And if people kind of go, like, a fair distance without ever, like, hitting, like, a ride or whatever, they tend to get a bit on the bored side. For the most part, this is really just a good way of kind of keeping people moving deeper and deeper into the park. Because that's what you really want to do. You kind of want people to, like, come in, enjoy some gentle rides, then move on to some thrill rides, and then move on to some lovely roller coasters. But anyway, let's get into the main business today. And indeed, this side of the park where I was just paying some attention, this is where I want to go. Get rid of that banner sign there. Like, I'd say the other way has at this point kind of, we've got enough stuff over there for the moment, and we're heading into thunderstorms. Beautiful. I'd say it's time we kind of found something to put in this sort of an area. After all, it's raining anyway, so I may as well kind of dedicate my time to building. And these massive splash boats strike me as just the sort of thing that I want to be building. This is perfect. They're nice and cheap. Should be kind of, have a kind of look at one of the default designs. Yeah, it's got a decent excitement rating, but a low intensity rating. That makes it a relatively good thing to put early on in the park. So this here is a good thing to kind of put, like, in this sort of an area to catch people relatively early on in their journey. Oh, but I've just had an alert that's a bit more important. Guests are complaining about the disgusting state of the paths. Now, that might be my fault. I might have made a small mistake. Now, leave the splash boats for now. I need to figure out exactly where this here problem is. I could, like, go into thoughts and look for the people who are thinking that and kind of move people into the right location, but it's probably easy just to eyeball it, to be honest. Actually, I'm really not sure. Though one thing I will say is it's become very clear that that area over there is going to be way too crowded. That's going to be causing trouble. So I'm going to take a relatively rare measure I don't actually take very often in this game. I'm going to create a double walkway. To kind of work around that. That's also partly because that's not a bad idea, because, like, this is an eating and drinking area. So therefore, like, a double little path so that people have more places to, like, sit and relax and so forth is not actually a bad idea. Now, if I want to put it about here-ish, probably works quite nicely. Yeah, this works. So I'll actually have, like, a little extended area in this direction. And if I kind of build this out here, now that can't go any further. Now if I make that go down, that's probably going to hit the... okay, that's unfortunate. What I'll do then is we'll kind of have it go down a flight this way, and then down, down, down. And then if I think I've got this correct, that joins up to there. Nice. So that just kind of provides just a little bit of an extra way for people to move through this area. They'll still get a little bit less crowded. And also, I can put some extra benches down. Bloody hell, the weather is working against me on this occasion. I think it might have just been a bit of a random one-off, just where one of the caretakers happened to get away from where he was supposed to be, because I'm not seeing people thinking this is, like, terrible or anything. I'm just seeing a lot of people, actually saying more people saying this park is really, really great. I also just love it how the one covered ride is the one that everyone's happy to go on in the rain. I've never noticed that before, but it's kind of genius. Beautiful. Also, rainstorms are why you want quite long queues, by the way. Like, because people who are committed into queues will still get on things during a rainstorm. The rain basically stops people joining a queue, but once they're in the queue, they're happily committed to it. So if you've got quite a long queue, rainstorms don't matter so much, because people will just kind of feed out of the queue, and the queue will just diminish slightly. So having quite a long queue is not actually a bad thing. I mean, it's kind of a bad thing insofar as people do get annoyed by them, but it's a good thing insofar as it actually means, like, rainstorms aren't quite as financially crippling. Oh, and we've actually just got a new thing shop as well. I just put some music on here, so I had some music here while I was building. But the first aid room. Now this is actually, well, I've never been sure whether I like these or not. This is basically just, well, it's the equivalent of a toilet you can nip into, and basically as soon as someone steps in there, their nausea kind of drains down to nothing. But they cost money, I suppose technically you are, like, saving money on, like, janitors or whatever, and, like, happier people, and that's a good thing, but I'm not 100% convinced, to be honest. In fact, I'm going to turn the shops and stores off for the moment. It just feels like I'm never going to get that damn cash machine. Instead, I'm going to invest in some new roller coasters and thrill rides. That sounds good. Actually, oh, and water rides. Let's get some more water rides too. Why not? So, the splash boat's incredibly simple. Like, there's literally no special pieces but the two S-bends. You can go gently up, gently down, and a sharp left and sharp right. There's, like, basically nothing you can do with these things. Which kind of makes this sort of slope actually quite good, because this thing, they can't be built too high, and therefore they can't really be that exciting. But if you've got a gentle slope to kind of move them up, and obviously we've got a slope going up into this island here, then that means you can get up way more speed than you'd be able to normally, because on a perfectly flat plane, you can only go as high as you were allowed to, and then down that same level. Here, I can move them right up to the top of the hill, and then I can actually bring them all the way down the hill. So this is going to be a way faster splash boat than they'd ever normally be able to have. So now we can have a much little kind of steeper slope going on here. So we can kind of have a nice little kind of... Oh, we can even have... I didn't realize these could actually do like that level of kind of deep slope. That's kind of good, actually. So we'll have kind of like a little kind of steep slope there. And then we'll kind of keep it going down. We'll kind of make it go straight down like through the trees, which I quite like. So we'll kind of have it go like straight down through this area. So it's going to be like a massive splash here. And it's kind of a shame that this doesn't have the onboard photo, which would be quite cool. And then we'll bring it right down onto the water. Bring it through here. Do we need any more than that? Or is that kind of going to be enough by itself? You know, I'm just going to hook that up and I'm going to see how it does. I quite like it ascending into the jungle and having that massive splashdown. And then having a nice little kind of gentle bit over the water at the end. That's quite nice. So we don't get any choices. It's just splash boats. Yeah, 20 boats with 16 passengers per boat. If we get a few people using this, this is going to be worth a hell of a lot of money as well. Right, put it into test mode, follow boat 1, we'll keep an eye on that, as well as extending the path out this way. It's like, where do I want the path to go? Like, obviously, this path's going to be extended. I wouldn't mind this path, like, going, like, yeah, over the top of this. That'd be quite cool. Can we increase the ramp speed, by the way? You sometimes can. No! You're not allowed to. Like, I swear sometimes you can change the ramp speed. On at least some of the ramps you can. But on this one, it's just stuck travelling at 1 mile an hour. Beautiful. Okay, here we are. Boat 1 has made it. Goes up to... Ooh, that's not bad. Goes up to like 45 miles an hour and then gets another little splash down at the far end. That works. That's probably going to be pretty exciting when all's said and done. I really like how, like, the path passes over the top of it. It's like in my mind, like, I know it doesn't actually happen, but, like, you know, the boats will be making a spray, so there'll be, like, a nice kind of spray of water onto the people here. That's kind of really cool. I like that. And then it feels like... The minimum waiting time I've set up is not going to be... It's going to be a little bit too aggressive. Let's change that to 7 seconds. Again, 7 seconds. An extra second per boat is an extra 20 seconds. So, and then this one's going to take, what, another, like... Yeah, another 40 seconds? No, that's going to be fine, actually. Yeah, I think 7 seconds minimum waiting time will be absolutely fine. Oh, it's flipping March. It's so much bad weather. Virginia Reel becomes available. May have a look at that. This thing can have a really nice long queue, by the way. It doesn't really matter at all because, like, the capacity for this thing is so damn big. It just, like, even if there's, like, tons of them, it just doesn't matter in the slightest. Even if the queue's massive, like, it'll go down so quickly. So, like, yeah, you can have a really big old queue for this thing. Ah, now this, right here, this works. So as people are kind of coming this way for the first time, especially as they step off these two rides, they run straight into this. This works. Now, boat 1 has already kind of been and gone. Let's see what we've got here. You see, high, medium, low. That's why you want to build this thing on a slope. You'd never normally get that thing up to high. The only way you're going to get that up to high is by actually having it on a slope. So even though, like, it's tempting to just want to build things in, like, a flat park, a park with slopes you can really use to make, like, relatively cheap roller coasters way more exciting than they have any right to be. And because that's, like, excitement 6... I can charge way more for this thing, and the intensity is not going to put people off. Let's start at $4, we'll work from there. So we'll open that up, and people are going to love this thing. That guy only didn't because he had no money at all. And we shall call this thing Splash Large Hill for copyright reasons. Immediate impressions, let's check that out. It's really good value. Oh my goodness, yes. And we've still got loads of money. In fact, I think we should just pour people into this thing. Let's get some advertising going on here. Massive advertising campaign for Splash Large Hill. Let's get that thing going. Full 6-week campaign. Beautiful. Let's get more people into the park. More people in the park. Like, we don't seem to have a crowding problem right now. So, therefore, I'd say this is a sensible use of money. We're at, what, coming up on... Ooh! 694? That's gone down a bit recently, hasn't it? Yes, that's way below our peak. Well, that is because we kind of boosted it up to 694 artificially by using advertising campaigns. So, like, you know, when those wear off, people tend to leave. And then here we go. Ah, you see, we've got a nice crowd building up here, a nice queue, but we don't care about a large queue because, like, every single one of these boats holds a hell of a lot of people. So when these boats start, like, coming back around in numbers, this thing is just going to start generating money like crazy. Look at all the people that go in a single thing. That moves straight off. Next boat arrives. In go another, what is it, 16 people per boat? That queue is like nothing. Okay, yeah, we need to get people going into this thing quick as we can. Beautiful. And don't forget, by the way, because I did just see a couple of like bits of vomit and litter down this way. Oh, you stupid people. Why are you coming down this way? Don't come down here yet. We're not really ready for you. Yeah, I saw a litter bottle. People will litter if they have no alternative, which is, you know, they're jerks, but I guess it's my own fault for not providing them with litter bins. Damn it. And speaking of which, I should probably bring a new handyman into the fold. There was some junk right there, you lunatic. Yeah, here we go. So he can go here. Actually, he can also have this area, so he'll, like, go into the queue occasionally. I'm not sure if people are even allowed to vomit in the queue. I don't think they actually are necessarily, but just in case they are, I'm going to kind of allow him to go in there. But, like, I don't think I've ever seen vomit in the queue. I think, like, a behaviour is they can only vomit on the normal path, so you don't need to bother sending handymen into queues. And also, a third mechanic, I'd say, is sensible at this point. I haven't really kind of seen much sign of, like, that the mechanics are struggling to keep maintaining the rides. But, like, as there's more rides, they need to do more and more maintenance. Oh, even with that queue we had a second ago, like, the number of boats is way, way higher. You're not waiting for minimum, are you? No, you're not waiting for anything and you're leaving if another boat reaches the station. That's fine. This thing is going to make a ton of money very, very quickly. Now, alternatively, what I'm actually thinking might be a good idea is I'm going to give people free rides for Jungle Tour Extreme, the launched freefall. And the reason I want to do that is, well, it's incredibly cheap. But if I give people a free ride here, then they come out the back here and they're straight away onto this thing where I can sell them tickets for, like, you know, $4, $50, $5 each. So I'm kind of sacrificing, like, what is it? Oh, that's still selling for $4. That's not doing too bad, actually. But I'm kind of moving people straight into a good area of the park. Now, at this part, I feel like this side of the park is probably kind of missing, like, food and drink and stuff. So here's something I kind of want to do as well. Like, rather than just doing another pier, I kind of want to do, like, a floating garden. That kind of really appeals to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have, like, that goes, like, in this direction. Yeah, that works. So we'll have a path going right down to the water here. So we've now got, like, a path right here on the water. And then we've got this lovely ring right here. What I'm going to do is, yeah, I'm going to find some nice flowers. And I know probably growing flowers in the sea doesn't really work. But these, I know that it'll be fine. They'll be, like, planted or whatever. So we're going to have some, like, some really nice flowers, like, dotted around here. So we're going to have, like, these. I'm going to mix them in with those. Luckily, you don't have to, like, raise these up. That happens automatically. And I've chosen the location very carefully because I can put them all the way around the outside without having to, like, worry about... Actually, I'll get rid of that one. So I can put them all the way around the outside without having to worry about gardeners not being able to water them or whatever. And I quite like the pink ones. We'll mix the pink ones in there. So that's lovely. Oh no, sorry, I made a horrible mistake in a previous video. I said I hadn't unlocked any of the water theming, but apparently that doesn't matter. There's some basic water theming just in the standard shrubs and ornaments tab. I'd completely forgotten that. Oh well, never mind. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're also going to build a... rotate this round this way. So we're going to have a fountain here. And a fountain right here. That's lovely. And then this area, we're going to absolutely fill it up with benches so people can just kind of sit here and enjoy nature. And we want it to be like nothing but benches. That's fine. Yep, benches, benches, benches. And then we're going to put like some food and drink in the middle here. Because I really kind of like there being like a lovely garden to relax in. Like kind of floating garden. Somehow just appeals to me. Now, Handyman 6, this is your domain, isn't it? And you, I need you to go and... Are you covering this area already? Are you covering this area? I guess you are. I guess it doesn't say if it's like on the garden, but like if I clicked on like all these areas, he must be covering this area. And his jobs do indeed, let me just double check that his duties do indeed include watering gardens. Yeah, everything but mowing the grass. Basically, yeah, if you set someone to mow the grass, they will wander off and you'll never see them again. But I'm going to try and get them started. We're going to hire a new handyman, and his duty is going to be nothing but mowing the grass. That is your job, my good man. So you just find a nice patch of grass to start mowing. Right here. Just start over here. Find yourself some nice grass to mow. There he goes. Beautiful. We'll come and check on him later, because he's basically going to do nothing but mow the grass forever, but he's never going to finish it, because, yes, he just won't. We'll be able to see how he's doing, because we'll just kind of follow him around. Oh, beautiful. Oh, my goodness. Look at this thing. How much money is this making now? How much was it? $8,000 an hour. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. This is working just perfectly. This is filling things up lovely. What are people thinking, by the way? They better not be thinking it's good value. They think it's good value. That's good. Now, back to where I was. Obviously, therefore, we now have bins going up the stairwell that kind of leads out of this lovely area. So people can sit down here, but then, and I think actually we'll probably put like a couple of extra benches at the top. Just make absolutely sure that everyone who wants to eat has somewhere they can like sit and enjoy their food. That'll be nice right there. So now we can build some extra food stuff. And we've probably unlocked a whole bunch of it, by the way. Actually, we haven't unlocked much extra food. I guess that means we'll just have another... So actually, we'll have another... what do I like better? I like the Subway store better, I think. So we'll have that here. And that's straight away. Yeah, that's facing the right situation right away. So we'll just crack that straight open. Luckily, we don't need to raise that because it's like on the sea. It's kind of on the water level, so you don't need to bother fixing it. We'll have a nice iced tea or starfruit. Let's go for some iced tea. A nice iced tea store. Beautiful. We don't have one of those so far. And you can also pick up a lovely souvenir t-shirt. Oh, yes. That's right. I don't think we had one of those. We've got novelty hats around the other side, don't we? Yeah, we've got novelty hats. We don't have much else. But the t-shirt's going to be the same colour as everything else. That kind of nice blue colour. So we know people wearing blue are actually part of this park's campaign. But now, to make sure people don't see the ugly back, we also need stuff around the other side too. So obviously we can have a toilet around the back here, that's fine. I'd say a fruity ices stall certainly doesn't hurt, so people can get some ice cream if it's hot. And why not, let's have a souvenir stall as well. Let's just pick up one of those. What can you get for those? It's there, the cuddly toy or the umbrella. Well, the umbrella price is going to go up. That's absolutely fine. And now we've got this lovely little beautiful shopping area. And people like do genuinely notice that. Like if they're walking through this area, they will often think things like, oh, this area is so beautiful or whatever. I can't remember exactly what they think. This park is really clean and tidy. Splash Large Hill was great. That's nice. Oh, this is working good. I like that. That's really, really nice. Though now I've actually realised that we've got water theming that's just available right now. What I'm going to do immediately is I'm going to go and put some water theming near the jet skis. The jet skis, they're not as popular as they once were, sadly. What are people thinking? Are they thinking it's overpriced? No, they're just thinking it's great. No one's thinking it's like a terrible idea or anything. Pricing does change over time. Like things that people used to think are good value stop being good value over time. So you've kind of got to like keep an eye on that. So yeah, we've got some nice little kind of... we just put some nice kind of water things here. Another one here, another one here. Just to kind of make it a bit more fun. It's fun because you're being sprayed with water. Now, one more thing this area over here needs. It needs an actual proper roller coaster. Now, I've got this really kind of small area around here I'm not actually using for anything right now. And I kind of vaguely have a plan for it, which is, you may have noticed a minute ago, we unlocked the Virginia Reel. Now, that tends to be like a fairly small, compact roller coaster and also really cheap. Like, Junior Roller Coaster estimates it's going to cost like $1,320, whereas this thing costs like, yeah, $975. So it's even cheaper than a Junior Roller Coaster. So this will be cheap and cheerful to just kind of throw up. That'll be very, very nice indeed. We're making a load of money right now. People are just, oh, look at this. People love it. I've never kind of like decided to dive into the exact like mechanisms for who decides to eat what where. Like, I do assume that in summer when the temperature is high, fruity ices sell better, but I've never really kind of like decided to like go into like what makes people decide whether or not they like burgers versus Subway sandwiches, or lemonade versus pop versus iced tea, for example. I don't know if there's like any form of maths going on in the background there. I would strongly imagine there would be, but I'm not quite sure what it is. Anyway, let's go over here and have a little look-see at the Virginia Reel, because, like, yeah, they tend to be really small and compact and whatever. What do they normally have? But, like, even though they're really cheap, they're not, like, crappy roller coasters. Like, you can see there, like, they can still have, like, excitement of, like, 6. They tend to be, like, quite extreme roller coasters. It's just, like, yeah, they just, for some reason, they're really, really cheap. That guy who's just trying to mow the grass just appears to be stuck there forever. Let's move him out of the way here. Let's move him just over here, and he can just start mowing. Yeah, he can mow this grass over here and make this bit of the park look nice. That's good. I think that guy, like, mowed, like, 2 bits of grass and then just kind of got stuck walking between them. He may have just run into a bad slope or something, just generally done some bad pathfinding. Never mind. But yeah, we're going to build our own design, obviously. So, like, standard rules apply. We've got this nice kind of upward slope here. So, like, we've got the low ground here and then the high ground up here. So if I kind of build... Where do I want, like, the entrance to be here? If I put, like, the entrance, like, here-ish, then people, as they come out of the boats, could be immediately caught onto this roller coaster, which works quite nicely. So, yeah, if I want the entrance to be, like, about... Yeah, this to be, like, the first bit of the station... Right here, that works. And then actually, the exit can be down onto here, which is kind of perfect. Oh, but yeah, that'll do. So that'll be the first bit of the station. Then I'll just kind of move the platform back. I just need to raise and lower some land quickly. Okay, that'll do. Now, how long can this thing be? Ah, there we are. That's long enough. It doesn't look like, for once, I've not actually reached, like, the maximum you're allowed to do. Actually, no, I think these things can do really tight turns, so it's fine. Then we'll do a really tight turn there. That's fine. And then we've kind of got, yeah, then we've got square right there. So can we do more? No, actually we've just reached the cap there. That's perfect. So what we want to do is just have a straight turn straight out of the platform and then have it go up. And then... Can we not? Why can we not? Okay, I've just slightly misplaced this. Don't worry. We can fix. All I need to do is make it go forward 2, then right, then it can go up. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. That's probably fine. Okay, now it can go up this hill very, very nicely indeed. So starting from +1, this thing now goes up to +11. That's not too bad. What special pieces? We've got literally no special pieces. That'll be why this thing tends to be quite cheap. You literally can't do anything fancy with it whatsoever. You got to be careful with it though, because it can't bank. You really mustn't go too fast with this thing, because like the horizontal G's get pretty extreme pretty fast. So let's just kind of make it loop in on itself through here, underneath itself. That's fine. So we're just kind of making it do a little bit of a loop-de-loop at the moment. And then another slope kind of down here. That's beautiful. We'll make it kind of spin away just before it hits the platform. Yep, nice. I'm really not sure whether it's a good idea to have this thing kind of go back up again. Because I feel like if it goes back up again, that could go very, very badly wrong. Because of the whole, it doesn't appear to actually be fixed to the track thing. But I'll tell you what, I'll actually let it go underground for a minute. That might be fun. So we'll let it actually kind of, yeah, go underground here. And then after it's gone for a bit of a tunnel, it kind of goes right, goes underneath itself again. Oh, blimey. Do I want it to go for another tunnel? I probably do want it to go for another tunnel, because I really don't want it to actually go up. But I cannot see it very clearly at the moment. Right, hang on. I'm going to need to make everything invisible here. Log Doom still hasn't been fixed. Okay, hang on. We've got a small issue here. Mechanics, you're responding to Log Doom. And you are almost there. Fine. I think clearly that's a sign that we are a bit low on mechanics. Let's toss an extra mechanic in here. 4 mechanics is fine. Okay, I think we're almost where we want to be here. So one more no, raise or lower land first. Hang on, we're almost where we want to be. Stop here. Yeah, this now has kind of gone... This has now kind of gone through a long tunnel here. Out here. There we go. I need to raise or lower some land. One more down. And then I cannot see where the hell this is. That is, in fact, got to be one more... Flip, just got to raise or lower some land. Raise or lowering land gets expensive quickly. You really want to avoid doing it if you can. Actually, no, let's just do a long curve. Beautiful. So right there, I've no idea if this is possibly going to be ridiculously extreme. I'm not sure. Do I get any choice of the carriages here? I'm generally not sure. No, just Virginia Reel, but 4 passengers a car, 16 cars. That's not so bad. Minimum waiting time can be... This shouldn't be too bad. Lift, hill, change speed. I've never seen any reason not to have this like as high as possible. Although when I say high as possible, the extreme speed of 4 miles an hour. Oh my goodness, look how many people are on this bloody ride at once. That's spectacular. This thing must be making all of the money in the bloody world. Beautiful. Yeah, continuous circuit, that's all it does. Minimum of 5 seconds waiting time. Doesn't have an entrance yet. Sorry, I forgot to do that. So yeah, I think what we'll have is we'll kind of have an entrance over here, and we'll have an exit way back over here, and the exit can join up to back here, because then we've got a load of, we've actually got a load of convenient benches right here, because I suspect this thing is going to be slightly vomit-inducing. So let's just get this thing open, move over to car 1, and I'll just quickly build some paths while we're waiting for that to reach the top. Okay, car 1 reaches the top and goes up to 28 miles an hour and spins and turns on that. You can see why this thing kind of makes people nauseous. 32 miles an hour, goes underground, 27. You see, not too bad. Not too bad. I'd say with the tunnels and the turns, that should be okay, actually. That won't be too extreme at all. Like, it didn't really come much over, like, 30 miles an hour or what have you. I think that should be a-okay. Yeah, okay. I'm pretty happy with that. Moving to the end of the station. It's here. What have we got? 33 miles an hour max speed. Not so bad. High, high, high. Yep, I will gladly take that. And then all I'll do now quickly is I'll build a path that takes this thing over to, yeah, I think actually to over here is just fine. Okay, frustratingly I can't line it up quite correctly, but this will do. This thing I'd say works perfectly. Open it up. The excitement's high, really high actually, so people will pay very good money for this. Let's whack that straight up to $4. People told me some really fun things in the comments actually, which is like a good general rule of thumb is like the price can be broadly like in line with the excitement. So if the excitement is 6, then people will generally be happy to pay like $5 or what have you. So let's start this at like $4 and we'll see how people react to this. So I think that should be absolutely fine. One thing I would probably consider doing is, just because we've got like multiple different like vomit-inducing rides around here, well, one, let's just put an extra bit of... Where's a bench here? There's a bench. I'll put a bench there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this no entry sign here. No, not that person. Don't really care about that person. No, the sign. The sign. There's the sign. Oh, sorry. I was wrong clicking there. Get rid of that sign right there. Then what I want to do is we'll put a new sign just slightly further up. So we'll put a sign like about here-ish. And this is the no entry sign. Yep, because there's nothing beyond that way. And the wooden wild mouse ride. Oh, that's another cheapy one. That's another cheap one that's quite good. You don't always want to be like spending on the big roller coasters. The cheapy ones are just fine. Are we having problems with the minimum wait times? Lower the minimum wait times and leave if another thing comes into the station, please. I want people like getting into this thing and then straight on. Lovely. And then what I'm actually going to do is like, and this will probably be like the only one I build here. I'm going to build a first aid room right here, just for people who are... Is that connected? That's not connected, is it? I need to just slightly raise that. No. Sorry, I was on the wrong one there. Not there. Here. And then, yeah, there we are. That's connected, isn't it? Yeah, that's connected. So I'm going to crack that open right now. So that's going to be a first aid room. So if people like come off this thing and feel sick, or if they come off this thing and feel sick, that's all absolutely fine. 926 guests. We've got loads of money. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay back a bit of my loan, because then the amount of money that's going out on loan interest, how much is loan interest a month? Not that much, to be honest. I've like saved myself like $60 a month there. Beautiful. But what I am going to do is I'm also going to pour money into advertising. So I'd personally say that... is that going to work? I'd say pouring money into Splash Large Hill is a good idea. So we're just going to keep pushing Splash Large Hill. That's working really, really nicely. Start that marketing campaign and advertise the park. Let's just keep advertising the park. The more people we've got coming into this park, the better. Now, how's our ride tickets? Oh, ride tickets are like, ooh, well, they're almost at $5,000 a month. All right, that's going really, really well so far. We just need to keep people pouring into the park. And like, because we've not really got a crowding problem at all. I'm not really seeing people complaining about crowding. The crowd density looks fine to me. So we're not really worried about that. But one thing I will say we now have is... Oh, well, sorry, this thing needs a name. It is now John's Vomit-Inducing Adventure. Huzzah! And now that Splash... Uh-oh. Splash Boats. No, Splash Boats! Damn it, Splash Boats. Oh, good, the guy's already there. This thing is making, like, yeah, $10,000 an hour. New rides do very, very well. Let's just quickly check in on the status of things here. So, Splash Boats, yeah, the Splash Large Hill is doing the best. Rollercoaster of Love is still doing very well. Log Doom's doing spectacularly as well. Treetop Frenzy's doing great. John's Vomit-Inducing Adventure has jumped straight up pretty positively. Jungle Tour's Gentle is obviously not making too much money. Neither is Boating McBoatface's Jet Ski High. That's not too... that's to be expected. The Pirate Boat's not doing too bad. $1,000 an hour of profit. That's pretty decent. So all these things together, we should actually be doing pretty darn well here. You know, one thing that I've always really, really liked about Rollercoaster Tycoon 2, and I'm not sure, like, I'm about to call this a feature. It might be a feature, or possibly it's actually just, like, you know, a technical limitation or something that, they never thought to put into the game. You can't speed up time. There is no way to speed up time in this game. Like, if you don't have the money and you're just waiting for money to come in, then you can't just, like, hit, like, triple speed until such time as you have money to continue building more roller coasters. Which I love as a feature, because it means, like, if you don't have money to build a roller coaster, you actually kind of, like, stop for a minute, and you actually start thinking about, okay, so what can I do instead? Can I, like, kind of, you know, have my handyman laid out more efficiently? Do I have enough staff? Are things nicely presented enough? Could I do a nicer job decorating my park, for example? So, like, I like that sort of thing. In fact, ooh, speaking of which, I kind of want to, like, make a bit of a nicer impression when people kind of first enter the park. So what I'm going to have is I'm going to have, like, a couple of palm trees. Yeah, palm tree, like, either side when you enter. That's really nice. And then we're going to have, like, some nice water sprays, like, either side right here on the corner. So we've got some lovely water sprays as you enter the park. That's nice. I like that a lot. Okay, ride breakdowns are definitely getting more common at the moment. That could be a bit of an issue. My mechanics are, yeah, the problem is they're probably too thinly spread out at the moment. I'm bringing more mechanics into the situation. We're making a ton of money, so, like, having more staff than you technically need is not a bad idea. I'm also going to bring in my first security guard, just to kind of keep an eye on vandalism. Because that's, like, this feels like the part of the game where that's going to start becoming a problem. You'll see, like, benches being, like, broken and stuff. People tend to be unimpressed by that sort of thing, so you do need to kind of keep an eye on it. Rollercoaster of Love's not doing so spectacular. That's interesting. Do we have new... We've already got the campaigns going, don't we? Yeah, we do. That's fine. So, free food or drink. I'd say, how about a free burger? Because a free burger, if people go that way, it just pulls them deeper into the park. I'm just using this, like, campaign as a way of, like, pulling people deeper and deeper into the park. Though, speaking of which, we now have a bit of a problem, which is... Oh, and I like the... Oh, I love it. I love it when you zoom out and you just see the park all laid out and all the things you've built. Especially when you've built it all yourself and you haven't used any of the prefabricated ones. It just feels so nice. Yeah, we've got a bit of a problem here. Which is, like, people enter this park and then they go one of two ways. But the park is kind of divided. So there's something I've been kind of thinking about and, like, I've been wanting to do for a little while now. Which is, I'd like to link the two sides of the park together. And I think I know just how I'd like to do that. And that's with a transport, and I love transport rides. Like, seriously, transport rides are one of my favourite things in this whole game. I absolutely adore them. So what I'd like to do is, I'm probably, like, come up ultimately with, like, a bigger transport solution that, like, you know, links the whole park together properly. For now, I just kind of want to link this side with that side by cutting straight through the jungle. And the way I want to do that is using the river rafts. That's beautiful. No, it's fine. Build a custom design, please. We're just going to move people straight through the area. Now, actually, now I think about it, I could use this also to bring people from the very start round to deeper into the park. And then from deeper... No, save that for later. Save that later. We don't need to worry about that for now. This is just going to be a way of, like, making some people cut backwards and forwards. This thing will probably be very, very underutilized, but I just kind of like the idea of it. And, oh, there's our handyman. He's desperately trying to mow all the grass on this deserted island. Beautiful. Well done. The thing you've got to be aware of for the river rafts, by the way, is there is no up for them. There's just S-bends, and that's it. So make sure you start them on a reasonably high plane. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time. You'll actually need to, like, re-landscape the land rather than doing anything else. Because there's no up, and there's no down. They just are what they are. So right there, we kind of need to straight away work around the problem of this roller coaster here. But that's absolutely fine. So we've got a river rapid right here, just kind of cutting straight through the centre of the island. No problem whatsoever. And then we can probably do right here another station. Where do I want the station to be? I could have the station be more like... Actually, if I have them go more in this direction, if I have just kind of go straight on here, straight past here, yeah, and then it's kind of, it cuts, oh no, not quite that close though. Not quite that close to the, not quite that close to the log flume. And then we kind of have it around here, and we kind of turn it in here, and then we have the station, yeah, the station kind of in this sort of area. this kind of works, I think. So we'll have a station here. These things can't go backwards and forwards, though. They do need to... actually, I don't like that position much. I think I'll kind of get rid of these. Yeah, and I'll have it here. Then I'll have it a bit more tight around here. Like, a bit more in the jungle. So I'll have it here. That's fine. And then we'll just have it moving back in on itself. That's lovely. I'll keep it as close as I reasonably can to this roller coaster. I think it's kind of nice if it kind of snakes around the existing roller coaster. Because then, like, you know... people on the river rapids can kind of look at the roller coaster, and people on the roller coaster can look at the I keep calling them the rapids. They're not rapids. They are the epitome of not rapids. They are just like this really flipping gentle ride. And then make this go this way, and then this go this way, and that should be fine. There we are. I shudder to think how much money I've just spent on all of this, but don't worry, it's 100% fine. So obviously every station needs an entrance and an exit. Beautiful. The queue system needs to be relatively short for these things. You really don't need to worry about that. And then we'll have another... this needs to be... that's kind of annoying. Yeah, the entrance needs to actually be that thing over there, because that's right at the front. Which I didn't really put much thought into, but never mind. If there's 31 boats, I think it's fine if they kind of just start heading on their way relatively quickly, like 6 seconds apart. Yeah, there we are. So that can just start going on its way. That's going to take a while, by the way, so I'm just going to quickly build the paths. Okay, there we are. So the entrance is now right here next to this beautiful food court. And surprisingly enough, the Cross Island Ferry, as it is now called, has actually come up with some okay results. Okay, the intensity and the nausea are incredibly low, which is odd because you're on a boat, so I thought, like, you know, nausea might be at least a little bit higher than 0.53 because some people get seasick, but whatever. But yeah, apparently the excitement is like a 3.98. It's still going to put a few people off, but it's better than I feared it might be. I see no reason for that not to be open immediately. Let's see who's going to go for this. I'm guessing you're thinking something like, oh, I want to go on something more exciting than that. Or you're not thinking anything. You're not thinking anything. Oh, dear. The litter here is really bad. Is it? Oh, dear. I might check in with thoughts in a second. Ah, here we are. Some people are actually going on this thing. Beautiful. Ah, surprisingly large numbers of people are going on this thing. You see, this is just kind of useful. Like, I don't expect this to make money. In fact, I don't really kind of want it to make money. Well, I wouldn't mind if it made money. If it made money, that'd be fine. But it's not really about making money. It's more about the fact that I kind of want people, like, if they're on one side of the island to not be trapped there, they can make it over to the other side of the island nice and quickly. So the people who are over here and, like, have just experienced, like, the treetop shopping area and, like, the log doom and, like, this fairly big roller coaster and quite intense stuff over here. There's a few logs kind of clumped together here. Yeah, like, people who've experienced this area can, like, go over here and enjoy the gardens and stuff like that, because I like the gardens. The gardens are cool. And, oh, what the heck is going on here? Why is this taking so long? No minimum waiting time, just to get people on and going. Is it taking people really that long to get on board? I guess it is. Interesting. Yes, just get people into the damn thing. Get people into the damn thing. So this thing's presumably making quite a bit of money, actually. Wow, okay. John's vomit-juicing adventure is indeed making quite a bit of money. Alright, time to do a quick check of what everyone's thinking, because that's a very good place to go. So, I feel sick, running out of cash, clean and tidy, need to go to the bathroom. We've got 3 bathrooms floating around. We should be alright for that. I want to go on something more thrilling than Cross Island Ferry. Understandable. I was broadly expecting them to say that. That's absolutely fine. Cross Island Ferry is really good value. Oh, of course, because for the people who are willing to go on it, the excitement means they'd be willing to pay a bit more. So I may as well put that up to $2 right there, because hopefully this will make a little bit of money. Yeah, it'll make a little bit of money. I don't expect it to make, like, a ton of money. I just want it to, like, move people around, to be honest. But there's a surprisingly large queue, actually, for this thing. Interesting. And now that I've actually, yeah, separated them out, it's okay for them to basically just hop on and head straight off again. There doesn't need to be a minimum waiting time. I only put the minimum waiting time on when I was testing, so all the boats would be, like, nicely spread out, and there wouldn't be, like, a clump of them all together. So that's absolutely fine. Beautiful. That all works really, really nicely. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is enough for now. Now that we've built our first little kind of transportation system across the island, and money is coming in very, very quickly indeed. We're into March of year 5. I'd say this park is taking shape very, very nicely indeed, and we will do a little bit more very, very soon. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, I've been John. This has been Many a True Nerd, and this is one of my favourite games of all time, and isn't it just beautiful? It's Rollercoaster Tycoon 2. Thank you very much, and goodbye. My milk gave me a sign, and it said tomorrow you will do something that will change your fate. Is my character simultaneously using a phone, using a laptop, smoking, and driving in a rainstorm? Hello, headquarters, I've got a problem. Yes, it's the milk again. Sorry, what were you saying? I was looking at this biscuit. You know what, mate? I'm confused too.